Episode 28, The Last Dancer of the Dynasty.
When the world begins to forget art, an ancient mission will wake up again. Welcome to the Sky Mender's Fragments of Artistic Space. Ancient Eastern China more than 8,000 years ago, the cosmic dome cracks, the abyss of nothingness swallows everything. In despair, Empress Nuwa blooms with high-dimensional divine light. The hand rest condenses the original emotions of the universe. 5 colored stones soar up. When the colorful stones touch the cracks, turn into a bright stream of light. The abyss closes. She spread the fire she created into the world. Leave hope and warmth to the world. After a long time flies to a highly automated future. Humanity is gradually losing its connection with art. Numb collective subconscious, breeding the name Zero Domain. The absolute power of reason. Gray and white cracks tear apart the time and space of the art universe. The sky that had been repaired collapsed again. Countless artistic essences were reduced to fragments, scattered in every corner of the long river of time. In the cold, dead city, a high-dimensional light quietly lit up. Iona appears with the echo of Nuwa's compassion, holding in hand space-time bricks that can collect broken time and space. She looks up to the broken spiritual universe, said softly. Only by retrieving the scattered art and life touch, only then can we reassemble the lost truth, goodness and beauty. Gray data covers the streets of Taipei in the future. Taipei 101 in the rain is hidden in the cold light and shadow. Young Liu is just the most ordinary person in the city. When Iona handed the space-time building blocks into his hands, the long-dormant artistic memory suddenly flooded into my heart. The long-lost sense of life awakens again. This time, we must mend the sky ourselves. Liu holds the blocks tightly. Embark on a journey to mend the sky spanning thousands of years of artistic civilization.
In the towering virtual work cabin of New Taipei, Liu is calmly sorting out the code of Zero Domain. Heavy rain is beating on the glass outside the window. However, he suddenly realized a new reality mutation is spreading rapidly. Human beings are gradually unable to express emotions through their bodies. Liu picked up the warm bionic teacup. But I found that the exquisite carved totem on the cup wall was being replaced by Lingyu's geometry code swallows and smooths. This cold formatting noise is modifying the parameters of his brain, trying to completely erase the human desire for body language and dance from the roots of thought. Liu looked confused, hands holding messy dark hair. The dark part of the hair flashes with a faint space-time blue fluorescent light. It shows Chibi's comic expression of extreme anxiety and confusion. He found that he was becoming impatient, even using gestures to express his emotions. The emotionless voice of the auxiliary drama AI sounded in the cabin. It has been detected that the global body emotion expression index has dropped 90%. Liu looked out the window. The train speeds on the elevated track. A holographic advertisement collapsed and disintegrated in a large area, turned into countless sharp black and white pixel noise. Liu leaned against the titanium doorframe and covered his face. Facing the high-frequency flashing white light screen in pain, he clearly felt that his heartbeat was synchronized with the high-frequency noise. Zero Domain attempts to format the entire human society into a world without physical interaction and temperature icy machine. At this time, the space-time building blocks on the workbench suddenly floated in midair. The complex Mender-α geometric squares fold and unfold violently, spray out countless high-dimensional stardust particles that exude a warm and slow silvery white light. Iona's hazy figure gradually appeared in the particles. Silver hair is scattered with orange-red warm light. Iona's eyes are detached, focusing on calling in his mind. The fire is dying. Liu, the world is losing the warmth of its limbs. Go find the deaf man. But you can hear the stars in the universe rotating and roaring. The spirit of the violin conductor reverberates. Liu was instantly swallowed by the strong light. After traveling through time and space, Liu fell heavily on the pile of leaves in front of the castle. The cold night wind mixed with the faint sound of piano in the distance. The air is filled with flying dust and acrid with smoke. This is a world where Indian classical dance art blends with cathedrals. A huge frame stands in the castle workshop. But the structure has been sealed by the zero-domain geometric barrier. Originally painted with the pattern Symphony of Destiny, the parchment music shows the dead grayness of formatting, lost the original luster of high-temperature ink. The fetal soil is dry. Realistic close-up of the corner of the workshop, the quill pen that originally copied the music score by hand, parchment, the classical lyre is shriveled and hardened, turned into a temperatureless gray-white lump. There was no sound of plucked strings in the atmosphere. All that's left is the crazy low-pitched high-frequency formatting noise. In the workshop, the musicians and craftsmen turned into gray-white silhouettes and stood stiffly. The facial expression remains the same, numb and empty. They forget why they need to create and feel. The phenomenon that humans are gradually unable to express emotions through their bodies is spreading crazily here. Unfinished thoughts floated in front of Liu. Symphony of Destiny colored window and afterimage of the score. Bronze buckles and antlers are scattered on the white surface. Under the guidance of Iona's fluorescent particles, the conductor's fragment exudes a faint spiritual call. Extreme close-up of hands, Liu held up the rough and wet lead bar in his hands, a real warm touch on my fingertips, the material lights up with a faint golden warm light when touched, blue light flashes in the depths of his gray pupils, experienced the warmth of hand stitching. Liu stood on a tall wooden scaffolding, using quills and welding knives, lead strips and stained glass were painstakingly assembled on wooden boards. His face was covered with sweat and dust, Chibi's face is exposed and she is extremely focused and funny when writing. Expression, looks funny yet extremely serious. Divided comic layout, the left panel shows Liu's focused profile as he quickly fixes the glass with a bronze buckle, right panel shows Liu using lead bars to fix the colored windows on, hands on frame, there are marks on the palm of my hand, every seam is real. When the last lead bar is, dark blue flat glass with edges welded, the stained windows that have not yet dried emit a crisp murmur, circles of light red energy ripples in the atmosphere, this ripple spreads around with the warmth of the touch, collision with the translucent geometric codes of the surrounding zero domain, stirring up ripple-like interference and distortion in the water. To tear apart the emotionless order in the space, Liu pressed his hands tightly on the warm glass, feel a real heartbeat resonance transmitted from your fingertips to your heart. Liu stepped into a building completely intertwined with ancient trees and stone walls. Towering majestic castle hall, in the center of the hall, there stands a statue with countless hand-painted colored windows and a giant mask stacked on top of a glass boat bow. Liu looked up, I saw a craftsman emerging in mid-air with his hands covered in mud and sand. The overlapping afterimages of the frantic carvings on the stone wall, the ancient sad chorus echoes over and over again in the air. This sacred image unleashes an overwhelming emotional impact, hitting the depths of Liu's soul. He felt an unprecedented shock. A framed cartoon features details of the score of Symphony of Destiny. The left panel shows the smooth jade-like lines of the paper page, modeled and powerful under the firelight. The right panel displays a sculptural contrast between light and dark, showing the ultimate craftsmanship born of eternity in the flames of war. It is completely impossible to simulate with AI code and inorganic algorithms. The ultimate in human realistic art. Liu looked at these dense cobalt blue and green colors. Deep in my heart, I was deeply moved by this extreme patience and persistence against forgetfulness. The black and gray geometric chains of zero domain tightly wrap around the giant mask, gray noise in the atmosphere increases dramatically, quickly smooth out the surrounding blue and white totems, the surface of the stone wall turned into dead gray pixel particles due to desaturation erosion. The conductor's spirit lingered half-kneeling in front of the collapsed stage, his hands with the smell of cold salt melted little by little in the dust, letting out a low roar of agony, sighing in despair. In the face of cold rationality, all emotions and adventures are unnecessary noise. Looking at the gray noise peeling off the edge of the stage, Liu's mind flashed through those people in New Taipei who looked numb and, no memory, pedestrian face without body language. He knew clearly, if this gentle touch of adventure in art is allowed to be completely erased by zero domain, the future world will be completely reduced to a cold and ruthless precision machine. Liu held the welding gun tightly with both hands. The nebulae flow in the pupils, a dazzling spacetime blue fluorescent light burst out from the darkness of the hair, all the emotional power suppressed by reason deep in the body was completely ignited at this moment. Because we lived. Liu let out a deafening roar, hit the welding gun hard on the giant colored window screen, the heavy impact exploded on the ground like spring thunder, the entire banquet hall trembled violently, a materialized red color, dark blue and golden energy ripples spread crazily outward from the wall in a circular shape. Shatter the zero-domain geometric chains and de-emotional codes blocking the front. Liu has quick hands and quick eyes, the hands continue to assemble the stained glass on the ancient wooden boards frantically and rhythmically. The continuous lines beat violently in the space like the heartbeat of civilization. The reverberation of the conductor's spirit directs the thunder and lightning and laughter, waving wildly on the crumbling stone wall. Those bright touches of cobalt blue and azure blue are in, spreading rapidly under the dazzling firelight, perfectly synchronized with Liu's fanatical welding. Together we compose a life movement against forgetfulness. The giant mask once again erupted into a dazzling cyan blue light. The sleeping aboriginal murals and theatrical sculptures on the walls seemed to come alive. They danced primitive songs and dances around the dome and the dancing firelight. The entire palace became unstoppable at this moment of red memories and emotional torrent, wash away all the gray and de-emotional codes in zero domain. The rolling blue particles are like boiling blood, galloping and roaring in space, announces the awakening of the most primitive heartbeat of this civilization. The energy of blue and gold foil spreads in all directions, space-time building blocks absorb light particles, ring a bell, breathe all the music score and singing memory into your core, take away Liu. Liu opened his eyes in the work cabin, there are now more cold and gray data lines on the holographic screen. A hint of gentle light blue, fingertips of gray pixels completely reseated. On the workbench, the brass pocket watch lies quietly in the center, modeled shell with historical wear, but the internal pointer emits an extremely clear sound, rhythmic ticking, moving steadily. Liu put the pocket watch against his heart, eyes slightly moist, the nebula in the pupil slowly flows, corners of mouth raised slightly. He understands, body, it is the oldest language of the soul. The space-time building blocks on the workbench rotated irregularly and violently again, blurred ancient music score lines projected in midair. Liu clasped his hands together, adopt a posture of inquiry and vigilance. Liu quietly looked at the restored world. For the first time he understood, body, it is the oldest language of the soul. This mission came to an end with the gentle swing of the compass, but the future tinkering is not over yet. At this time, the space-time building blocks on the workbench rotated irregularly and violently again. Internal data flows violently, the rotating gears and gold jewelry fragments of ancient machinery are projected in the air. The surface flashes a warning red light, projecting ripples of broken data as humans begin to lose their ability to resonate emotionally, warning of the next crisis. Global Sky Menders, which piece of art do you think you will be looking for in the next episode? A. The symphony of destiny that preserves this journey of exploration. B. Preserve the symphony of destiny that is about to go to time and space. C. Preserve the creations of those closest to you. D. Others. Your answer, it will be stored in the Douyin database of the Art and Civilization Library. Global Sky Menders mission. This mission, who inspired your initial creativity? Every love is an extremely warm fire. Light up the love, follow and share with friends around you. Let us join in the task of repairing the next piece of debris, but to let future generations know, when sunlight penetrates stained glass, faith turns into visible temperature.